Stephen Murray told Judge James Blanchard in a Burke County courtroom that he wanted to spend the rest of his life in prison and waive the death penalty trial for killing Father Rene Robert, the priest who had been counseling him during the time he was murdered in April of last year. The defense said that Murray lived a life of nightmares, something that we could never understand.
So no hard feelings, right?
Yeah, no hard feelings.
Let me,
I so would love a cigarette, though, man.
We can probably take care of that.
Running 100 miles an hour, I'm going to tell y'all everything y'all need to know.
Okay.
Confession, everything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me see if I can find a cigarette real fast. We'll get that knocked out first, okay?
All
right. Any sleep last night?
I ain't got it. Yeah, actually, I have. I've fucking been sleeping since y'all dropped me off.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been asleep for a couple days.
Did you tell everybody about that ride home?
No, I didn't tell too many people. You know, I didn't talk to too many people.
Listen, don't brag about that too much, because I don't want to get in trouble, you know what I mean?
I didn't have to do this. You know, I could have just went with the flea and lewd.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure y'all wouldn't be able to bring no murder charge up on me with what I gave y'all. I mean, but, I mean, it is what it is, you know. I mean, I'm fucking ready to get this shit over with.
Well, I appreciate the respect, you know what I'm saying? So, and I hope you feel like we've reciprocated that, so.
Still have to remind you that of your rights.
Constitutional rights. I already know them. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have a right for an attorney. If you can't afford one, y'all will appoint me one.
It's your show, brother. We're just here to watch. Tell us.
Right. Well, the first part of the story I told y'all where Father Rene picked me up and I was going to pay him the money, which was true, and I went down to the dope trap, and I was just going to get weed, and I ended up getting crack. Well,
was Father Rene with you at that point?
No, I dropped him off down past Chafee, just like I said, past the kangaroo.
Okay.
Because I wasn't going to take, you know, him up there. You know,
Sure, sure.
Out of respect.
Did he know where you were going?
Well, he had an idea because, you know, I didn't ever too much hide anything. I mean, I was pretty much straight up honest about everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but, you know, he respected that. And, well, I got some weed, and I ended up getting some crack. And smoking. Which I normally don't do, man. I just been, you know, just fucking stressed out. And a lot of shit going on, man. I can't, you know, I just could never seem to get none of this shit behind me, man, in my head. And we went up to Carolina, me and Father Rene. I picked him up after I got back from the dope trap down off 90. And we went up to South Carolina against his will. I mean, it wasn't...
What do you mean by that?
Against his will means he didn't have a choice.
Like, did you have a gun that you were saying you're coming with me, or a knife, or... No,
it was just...
You just told him?
Yeah, I just told him we was going to Carolina. I mean, I was driving and...
Did he say he didn't want to go?
No, he didn't say at no point that he didn't want to go. He just said, okay. I mean, I wasn't aggressive with it or anything, you know. Fucking... I wanted to go see my kids, you know.
Right.
I mean, I really wanted to see my kids, and I know I was at a breaking point, you know, where I was just tired.
I feel you.
And I was just ready to fucking die, and I really wanted to see my kids before I died, you know, and I know that it was coming soon, you know. I was going to die somehow or another, you know. And I got up to Carolina, and I went to my baby mama's stepmom's step grandmother's house right there off of Comey Trail in Aiken, South Carolina. And I told them, I said, look, you know, I just drove fucking hours to see my kid, you know, and that's exactly what I want to do, you know. So they sent me to the address where my kids are supposed to be. By that time, I had an arson. I mean, I had a bunch of guns by that point.
Father Rene's still with you at this point?
Yeah, he's still with me.
Okay.
I had a bunch of guns at that point. I had a 9, an AK, a 30-06, a bunch of pistols. And I was just determined I was gonna see my kids, you know,
Sure.
regardless of what they said or how they felt, you know. I ain't seen my kids in a long time, and I wanted to see them. Well, my baby mama's daddy told me, he said, you know, I don't think you can see him, you know. And I started to shoot his punk ass in the head by then, you know. I didn't know, you know. I respected what he was saying as a man, you know, because I seen what he was saying, you know. I haven't been around this long, you know. Why come in and drag the kid's life out like that, you know? I mean,
Sure.
punish the kid. So I kind of seen what he was saying and respected it, but it just fucking tore me apart, man. I mean, it really tore me apart, like fucking just fucking ripped my heart out my chest. And by that time, Father Rene was saying that I was in great trouble, like fucking I wasn't gonna be able to get out of this, and you know, and fucking everything hit me, you know, and just fucking just wigged out, you know, and fucking I killed him. I figured, you know, that was my way out, you know. Figured if I can't, you know, if I take you back to Florida and you gonna fucking tell them that I made you come all the way up here, you know, fucking, I mean, that's a charge. Then I had that fleeing and eluding, I mean, which I didn't know if I could have beat it or not, you know. I was fucking just, I mean, y'all didn't catch me, so I was thinking, you know, maybe I can beat it on the trial. But then I sat back there in that cell and read the paper every day, and my sister was telling me blah, 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 but all this right here, you know, and she fucking stressed out, you know. I said, fuck it, you know, it is what it is.
Well, tell us what happened with where you say you killed Father Rene. Where did that occur at?
It happened in Georgia.
Where at in Georgia?
I'm not quite sure where it is. I mean, I can take you to the exact location.
Closer to Florida or closer to South Carolina?
Closer to South Carolina.
Okay. So tell me how you got to Georgia. You went to South Carolina to see your kids, right?
Yeah.
What day is this? Okay, fair enough. You go to South Carolina to see your kids. You leave with Father Rene? Yeah. And he's still alive and well?
He's still alive and well.
Where's he at in the car?
He's in the trunk by that point.
He's in the trunk. Okay.
Yes,
is he tied up or anything like that?
No, sir.
You just told him to get in the trunk?
Yeah, but I did cut the thing off the trunk where, you know, you can open it if you get
the little emergency release?
Yeah, I did cut that out the trunk. That way I wouldn't have to worry about him opening the trunk while I'm fucking going down the road and stuff. I mean, you know.
Now, was he in the trunk when you left Jayville? When you left Jacksonville?
No.
Where was he at then?
He's in the front seat.
Front seat, okay.
Yes, sir.
So when did you put him in the trunk?
Put him in the trunk right before I went to see my kids.
Okay. So he was in the trunk while you went to go talk to your baby's mama's father?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then when you came back, did you let him out of the trunk? Okay. When did you have the conversation with him about when he said you're in a lot of trouble? Like were you... this is what I'm saying. Did you open the trunk and have a conversation with him, or were you talking through the trunk, or what? How exactly?
I think I was talking through the trunk to the back seat.
Okay.
He was telling me I was in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
And I didn't put him in the trunk in intentions to be mean or anything like that.
Right.
But I just fucking, you know, I just thought it was best me going to see my kids by myself. You know, I didn't want to have to.
Just needed somewhere for him to chill out.
Yeah, and I didn't want to put him out. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere fucking. I mean, it just was what it was. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know?
Tell me. So fast forward. You leave South Carolina. You're coming back to Florida. Is that your intentions?
Well, I was coming back to Florida. I robbed a couple houses up there, and
while he was in the trunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a shitload of guns.
And he's still alive at that point.
Yeah, he's still alive at that point. And, you know, I'm talking to him, you know, and he's still telling me, you know, that I'm in fucking great trouble and that I'm never going to get away with this. And I'm thinking, you know, like, oh, man, you know, maybe I am in a great deal of trouble, you know.
Sure.
So, yeah, if you're going to go back and tell on me, though, and fucking get me in trouble, I mean, well, fucking let's go ahead and get rid of you, you know.
Okay. So tell me about that. What happened with that?
He kept asking me to use the bathroom. So I stopped and let him out to use the bathroom. I had a 9mm PA.
Okay.
That was the model of it. And
You got that from one of the burglaries you did?
yes, sir.
Okay. In South Carolina or down here?
In South Carolina.
Okay.
And I shot him.
Where'd you shoot him at?
I shot him in the, I think, the chest one time and the head the last time.
Okay. So, like, me and you are looking at each other right now. You shot him like that, or from the side, or from behind, or was he laying down, standing up?
It was more of from the side, first shot, but he was standing probably from here to that door right there from me. And more in the side, chest area, and then he fucking fell, and I shot him in the head
Okay.
and left.
Did he say anything to you when he saw you with the gun?
In that time,
Okay.
I wasn't. I was just fucking just. If he did, I wouldn't have understood it or.
Right.
Fucking, I mean, I was
Did he know you had a gun?
Yes, sir.
No. Okay. So he never saw the gun.
Never saw the gun.
So you kind of creeped him a little bit, and
I guess you could say that.
okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I had a big gun safe in the back seat. And fucking a bunch of guns. I mean, they fucking buku guns.
Sure. All right. You remember where at in South Carolina you were at when you got the guns?
Yes, sir.
Where's that at?
On Kesson Church Road.
Right by where your baby's mom was at?
Right where my aunt and uncle stayed, Roberta.
Yeah.
How far from
On
that?
the same road, probably maybe a quarter of a mile down.
Whose house is it?
Down. I'm not sure. I know the guns was in there because I dated a girl named Nicole,
Mm-hmm.
which is his daughter, the guy that I got the guns from. And she told me that he had some automatic weapons in there and shit like that, you know, and that's been years ago, you know, like years ago.
Okay.
And I just, you know I needed some guns, you know, to carry out fucking whatever, you know.
Right.
I mean, and went and got the guns, and all of them was there. I mean,
Well, when you say you needed guns to carry out whatever, what were you trying to carry out at that point?
my death.
You were going to commit suicide?
I was gonna do something. I was gonna make y'all kill me.
Okay. Well, you only need one gun to do that, but you said you stole a shit ton.
And I figured, hell, if I had an arson, I didn't have to worry about running out of shells, you know. Once I started popping them, I
Probably.
fucking let them sing.
Logical thinking.
Yeah, I mean, you got one gun and for my out of bullets. You know?
Right.
You got fucking 100 officers shooting at
Sure.
you. You know, you need more than.
When you left Jacksonville, did you think that you were going to kill Father Rene then? No. Okay.
I didn't have no intentions on it or anything, man. I was just fucking
So he rode all through Georgia with you, sitting in the
in the front seat.
front seat.
Yes, sir.
Was he asking you like where you're going, what you're doing? What was the conversation like?
He asked me, he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to see my kids, Father Rene. He said, okay. And I'm driving, and I got up there, man, and I did so many circles and filled up the tank so many times, you know, it was just fucking, I mean, I was scared, you know, I didn't know what to do or how to do it, you know, I wanted to see my kids, man, and when I put him in the trunk, you know, he just fucking, like, changed up his whole demeanor, you know, like, you're going down for this, you know, and fucking nobody's gonna believe you, and fucking
How'd you get him to get in the trunk?
just asked him to.
You just said, hey, I need you to get in that trunk right there?
I need you to get in the trunk, Father Rene.
Did you say or else?
No, I didn't say or else. I said, I need you to get in the trunk, Father Rene. He said, okay. I'm right in there, you know. I helped him in there. And I told him, I said, just do what I tell you to, and everything's going to be okay, you know.
Did he seem scared?
Not really. I mean, he never changed his demeanor the whole time, you know.
Okay.
Never. And he got in the trunk, you know, and then, like, when I got back in the car after I fucking been destroyed, you know, like, fucking, after her daddy just told me what he told me, man, he's lucky he ain't one of the ones on fucking unsolved homicides, I mean, because,
Sure.
I mean, I had a fucking, he tore me apart when he told me what he told me, man, I mean, but I respected it, and somewhat in the back of my mind, you know, because he was right, you know, I haven't never been there.
Were you still high then? From smoking the crack?
No, sir.
How long had it been since you smoked crack at that point?
hours, like probably.
Okay, so it wore off.
Yeah, like way wore off, like
Okay.
hours, like 8 hours ago. You know?
Yeah.
I was just like in a fucking I don't know, man. I was fucking just wasn't feeling good, you know, in my head.
Was it daytime or nighttime?
It was daytime.
You have an idea of like morning, afternoon?
Probably around lunchtime.
Okay.
I don't know which day it was. I mean, I lost track of days years ago.
Well, we'll deal with that later. Okay. We'll try to iron that out later. I'm just trying to, soak up what you're giving me. So
I'm pretty sure if y'all give me like a day that shit happened to start with, and they're on how I could pretty much point it out.
Pinpoint it.
Yeah, the
Okay.
times and everything.
You wanna grab your burger?
Do I?
Okay. Let me.
I'm just having a problem.
Did you ever tell Father Rene that, anything along the lines that you were going to have to kill him?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't think he had any idea that that's what your plan was?
And I was just having a big problem coping with everything that I have did already, and the things that I'm gonna have to face.
Right.
And it didn't sink in too well on me, man, because it just made things worse, and I just cried and cried and cried, like cried for days on end.
Right.
I didn't stop crying. Because I know that I had fucked up and I couldn't take none of it back, man. I just gave my whole life away,
What kind of area are we talking about? Like, did you pull over somewhere, or is it like a
It's a real wooded area.
real wooded area?
Yeah, like, y'all would have never found them.
Sure.
Never.
You know what highway it is? What road? 'Cause I know you know those roads like the back of your hand up there. You were talking about, you going 16 to. You were rattling off all kinds of stuff when we were coming back, talking about all kinds of shortcuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know it better than I do.
Yeah, I know the roads, but I would have to take you
Okay.
to it. Because period. I don't want to sit here. I like to ride for a minute, But as far as like taking you to the exact location, I would have to be in the car and point it out.
Okay. Let me ask you this: if when you shot Father Rene, did you just kind of leave his body where it was, or did you do anything else to it? Did you bury it or anything like that? Just laying right on top of the ground. You didn't put anything on top of it? Nothing like that?
So I just left it right there.
Okay.
Didn't move it, didn't touch it, didn't disturb it, I just left it right there.
What'd you do then?
I sat in the car for...
In this same place?
Yeah.
Like after you shot him, you went and sat in the car and was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, like what the fuck did I just do,
Sure.
Why? For what? And I called my sister, and I told her, I said, I really love you, girl, and this is it, it's over. And she's like, Bubba, what are you talking about?
You called her from your cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told her, I said, it's over, girl. She said, Bubba, what are you talking about? I said, my life is over. It's over, this is it. No, Bubba, no, talk to me, Bubba. I told her, I said, ain't nothing to really talk about, girl. I said, it's over. And she just started crying, because she knows, my sister knows me, she knows me very well. And she knows that I done did something really fucked up, So I've never said nothing like that unless I meant it, And I told her, I said, this is it, they're going to have to kill me, that's what I made my mind up to, y'all was going to have to kill me. And I just tried to hide so many places, but I just, like 3 days without no sleep, no drugs to keep me up, I was just up all fucking just scared and skitzed out and paranoid and fucking couldn't find no peace within myself, to even lay down and go to sleep. I had an ass of pills in the car and I was going to overdose, I had pills and a syringe, a bunch of pain pills, and I was going to fucking overdose with that. And I said, nah, I better make them shoot me, that way I know I die,
Where'd all that stuff come from? The pills and stuff?
The house that I broke into.
Okay. Burden?
Yes, sir.
Where's the gun at that you shot Father Rene with?
sold it in Jacksonville.
You know who you sold it to?
But I know a number.
Okay.
I know his phone number. Man, he's a pretty cool kid, you know.
You know it by heart?
Yeah.
Will you give it to him? Like,
I don't know his name because I just bought weed and stuff from him, you know.
where's he live at?
He don't really live nowhere, you know. He's pretty much on the streets, but he bounces around house to house. He's just like a middleman, just tries to make it, you know.
Did you sell him any of the other guns that you sold?
No, sir.
Where'd all those guns go?
To a dude named Mike, the guy I told you that I rented a car to.
Yeah. How much, as far as in terms of value goes, how much dope do you think you got for all that? 1,000? And it's just a mixture of powder, crack, and weed? Okay. How many guns do you think you sold in total? If you had to guess.
Probably 15.
Okay. And there was a safe too?
Yes, sir.
Like what kind of safe?
It was a gun safe.
But let's back up a little bit. So how does Father Rene and you even hook up? Tell me that part of the story.
Ashley.
Well, okay, you met him through Ashley, right?
Yeah.
But fast forward to this situation here.
When I called and told him, called and told him that I had some money for him, which I had been paying him money every week, you know, because of what Ashley had owed him.
How much money did you have?
I had probably like $325, $340, something
Okay.
like that.
And that's, where was he at when you called him, the best of your knowledge?
He was in St. Augustine.
Okay.
And
Where'd y'all meet at?
at my dad's place.
The RV?
Yes, sir.
Was your dad there?
My dad and his wife. I'm not too sure if they was there. I mean, there was a lot of shit going on. I mean,
Do you know what day that was?
also, I mean, I know when he pulled up, I just hopped in the car. They didn't have no knowledge of nothing that was going on. I mean, they didn't know nothing what I was going to do or anything. Nobody knew. I mean,
Did you know at that point?
did I know? No, I didn't. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't have no knowledge of what I was going to do. I just know that I needed to ride down. I was going to give him this money, and I was going to get him to take me down there. I used the money to say, okay, well, I got to go down here and get the money, Father Rene, you know, so I can pay you. He said, okay. You know,
Tell me when you left your dad's house, where'd y'all go? Like, take me the route that you went.
took a right on Beaver, went all the way down past Chafee right there at the Kangaroo. Okay. You know, with Father Rene, you know, he wasn't slow to the point of what was going on, you know, because he'd been dealing with it with Ashley for a while. Like, Ashley fucking, when I tell you Ashley told me $40,000 just in 1 year that she had got from him for drugs, you know. She would just fucking, like, pick him up and drop him off at the Walgreens right there on the 8th and, right by Shands.
Yeah.
And he would sit there for like 3 or 4 hours. I was with Ashley at some of the times that she did it, you know, and she would leave that man sitting there for like 3 or 4 or 5 hours, you know, on a bad heroin binge. Like, she would go to the Advance Auto right there on fucking Kings and Myrtle, and she would go in that bathroom, man, and fucking shoot heroin and fall asleep for like hours, you know, like in the bathroom, and leave him sitting way the fuck down there, you know. And of course, I mean, I was so in fucking love with this bitch, you know, like, I mean, she was a good girl, you know, and I seen so much in her, you know, and I wanted to try to build a life. I wanted to try to get my life straight, man, but I was just scared, you know, at that point, you know, there was no help for me, you know. I tried, and, you know, it's like, I couldn't even, I mean, I'm not trying to be nasty or nothing, but I couldn't even bust a nut having sex no more. I was so destroyed, you know. I was so ashamed of myself and that kid or anything, you know. I was just ashamed because of the things my daddy did to me, you know. I mean, I was ashamed. Like, you could ask Ashley, man, like, I get naked and cover myself up, you know, and it just be me and her there, you know. I mean, I couldn't even be comfortable no more, you know, around nobody, around even myself. I was ashamed, you know, because of the things my daddy had did to us, you know. And we would have sex for like hours in, and, you know, she would just ask me, please stop, you know, because, I mean, I just get like in a fucking rage, you know, and she would get scared, you know, and fucking, I guess that it was going bad, you know. I mean, she'd always think it was her, you know, that, I mean, am I not enough? You know, well, what is it? You know?
Right.
You know, I try to tell him, it's not you, it's me. I pull over. When he pulls over, they're sitting there. And I never asked them to get out the car and wait on me to go do something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's always did that because I never had the heart to tell nobody something like, get out your car and let me hold your car while you wait, you know. I never had the heart to tell nobody to do some shit like that, you know. I mean, this is your car and I'm telling you to get out while I go use your car to go do this and leave you standing out here in the middle of the night, you know. I mean, I've never been able to bring myself to even ask somebody to do something. That sounds ridiculous, you know. And I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna do this, you know. And I'm telling Father Rene, okay, well, he's gonna be here in a minute, you know. The guy's gonna need me to bring my money, you know. He's gonna be here in a minute. It's okay, you know. By the time it's like 9 o'clock.
Are you going to cop dope at that point? Like, is somebody actually going to bring you dope, or are you going to purchase dope, or what's the purpose of all this?
Well, I was going to get the dope, but I didn't want to take Father Rene down there. So
Sure.
I was debating on how the hell I'm going to use his car.
Right. How are you going to get down there without letting him know what's up?
Yeah, but I let him know. So I finally asked him, I said, look, you know, the guy wants me to come down there by myself, you know, can you wait down here? You know, he's like, yeah, sure.
Where'd he wait at?
Like fucking past the fucking trailer place out there. I mean, there's a fucking plant. I'm trying to think, man. It's a fucking gated plant. It's on your right hand side. It's a long ass road that goes to it, and the plant shoots off to your left, and it's got double gates right there. You gotta go through security checking to go through to get in.
Mm-hmm.
But he waited down that way at the end of the entrance to that.
Like right at Beaver Street, where the entrance to that and Beaver Street come together?
I would say so, if I can remember correctly.
Okay.
And excuse me. I mean, and I went down there to meet him, you know, and got the weed from him and got the dope, you know, and I went and picked him back up, and
What exactly did you cop?
I got like, I think fucking like $80 worth of crack, and I think like a dub or two a gram or something like that of weed. I can't quite put a number on it. And I did the drugs. I rolled up a blunt and I hit it like fucking like probably 20 times. And got back in the car. I didn't want to smoke in the car because I knew he would smell it, you know. And I went and picked him up, and he got in the passenger seat, which he would let me drive his car, you know. I mean, I didn't have no license, you know. I mean, he still let me drive. I mean, I drove good, you know. For the most part. I mean, y'all probably won't say that. Y'all probably won't say that. But
I don't know. I think you were driving pretty good. You were handling it pretty good from what I was told.
yeah, I was. I about lost control a couple of times, but I snatched it back in there. I gave him hell, though.
I give you that. So what happened from there? Okay.
Back to Lane Avenue. And we're driving, and I had already made my mind, well, you know, I'm going to see my kids. If I got to go take a car from somewhere else or whatever the fuck I got to do, I'm going to see my kids.
Were you high at that point?
No, the weed, you know, that's why I've always bought weed with it, you know. I mean, if I was going to do anything, I would buy weed that way I wouldn't be chasing or, you know what I'm saying?
Kind of milling you out.
Yeah, you know, I could do what I got to do and just smoke a fat blunt and just chill, you know what I mean? Enjoy myself and just chill, you know, that while I'm not out there chasing, trying to rob somebody, get more and stuff like that, you know, that's something. I hit 95 and 95 north, and Father Rene's asking, like, well, where are we going? You know, I said, I'm going to see my kids. He said, okay. You know, he didn't say no nothing. He said, okay. You know, I'm driving, you know, and hours in, you know, and
is the car all gassed up at that point?
It's gassed up on full.
Okay.
And, you know, he's asking at that point, you know, how far is it? I said, just chill, you know, it's okay. And we're driving, and
you said something earlier, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said something earlier about that you made him go with you. Like, can you describe that to me?
I didn't too much make him go with me. I mean, he was in the car.
I think the statement you made, and Jose, help me out because you might remember better than I do, but I think the statement you made was something along the lines of, he didn't want to go, but I told him he was going to go, or something along those lines. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You know what I mean? Wasn't it something like that? Something along those lines?
Yeah, you say something along the lines, well, I wanted to go see my kids, and he didn't have a choice, pretty much.
That, I think, that's just the words you used earlier, is he didn't have a choice.
I said, he didn't say nothing out that line, but I said I was going to go see my kids, and he didn't have a choice, Right. And then you asked me, well, did you have a gun making them? And
right.
I said no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where were y'all at when all that was going on?
Well, when I made my mind up that I was going to see my kids, we was coming back up Beaver towards Lane. And I made my mind up, said I'm going to go see my kids, before all this, this takes place, before my life. And
What'd you foresee happening at that point?
I didn't see me killing nobody or nothing. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, I didn't foresee none of that. I mean, it was just fucking... I guess I got real fucking skitzed out, man, and fucking scared, I guess, I mean, scared for me, scared for my life, and, at that point, he was just saying, you're not going to be able to get out of this, and they're never going to believe you, and, I don't know what he was thinking, he was like, telling me that I wasn't going to get away with this, I guess for putting them in the trunk, I mean,
Oh, that's fast forward to when you're in South Carolina, right? Is it South Carolina when he gets put in the trunk, or before that?
It was South Carolina.
Okay. So he rides with you in the passenger. Do y'all stop anywhere before you get to South Carolina? Get gas, buy cigarettes, anything like that?
I do, but I mean, I don't remember the places.
Okay. What did he do when you stopped?
He asked me could he use the bathroom, and from...
Did he ever go to the bathroom?
I did pull over and let him use the bathroom. I don't remember.
Like on the side of the road or a gas station?
Side of the road.
Okay.
Yeah. And I put him back in the trunk. We never tied him up or anything, because, I mean, he was older. I mean, I didn't want to...
Well, I want to make sure there's no confusion. I'm talking about on the trip to South Carolina. When you leave Jacksonville, is Father Rene in the trunk then?
No, sir. No, I always just pretty much tell him in the back seat, lay down.
And he was okay with that?
Yeah, because, I mean, and the only reason why I did that is because I knew Father Rene was connected with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? He was connected and involved in a lot of stuff, and I know that at one point that he missed one of them things that he was supposed to be at. There was going to be something big about it, they was going to be concerned and automatically start digging. So, I mean, I made him get in the back seat that way. Okay, well, if I scan this card and they see I scan this card at this gas station, he's not in the car with me. He's in the back seat,
Gotcha.
He's laying down.
Okay.
And, that was the whole reason why for me doing that,
Okay.
I mean,
at that point, well, I guess my curiosity is why does it matter if he's with you at that point if you haven't already made up your mind you're going to kill him?
I haven't made up my mind I was going to kill him. I wasn't going to kill him or anything, so... I didn't want them to fucking, if he's on a trip to Carolina with me against his will, I know that I was in trouble. I know that I was in deep trouble.
Even before you got to Carolina, you thought you were in trouble?
Well, I know that I wasn't supposed to make this man go to Carolina, against his will.
Fair enough.
I know that I was going to be in trouble for that, I didn't want to do it like that, man. I didn't. But that's just the way it happened, that's what it was, and I couldn't change nothing after I made my decision.
Okay. Well, Stephen, if you don't mind while you're eating, I'd like to catch Detective Chapman up on what we've been talking about, okay? And if I say something that's not right, you correct me. Fair enough?
All right.
So, Stephen was in his cell today, and he reached out to one of the corrections deputies and said, I'd like to talk to the detectives. Okay. So, that's correct, right, Stephen?
Mm-hmm.
So, we went over, and he said, I do want to speak with you. So, we came over here, and we've covered a lot in a little bit of time, and he said he's willing to help us iron out the details and potentially go to locations and show us where he's talking about and things like that. So he's a little foggy on times and days, but I think we can get that ironed out, over the course of us talking and things like that. But he said that he told us that he murdered Father Rene, and that's correct, right, Steve? And that Father Rene's body is in North Georgia, and just closer to South Carolina. And he said that, well, I guess it would probably be more prudent for me to kind of tell the story and go from there. So he calls Father Rene to come to Jacksonville. He says that he has some money for Father Rene, which is the whole reason why Father Rene comes to Jacksonville to begin with. He said he went and got high, bought, what'd you say, $80 worth of crack and some weed. Got high, came back and picked Father Rene back up, and he had made a decision that he was going to go to South Carolina to see his kids at that point. He's driving, Father Rene's in the passenger seat.
Front passenger seat.
Okay. He says that Father Rene doesn't have a choice at that point, that he doesn't have a weapon or he doesn't threaten him. He just tells Father Rene, we're going to South Carolina. Says he attempts to go see his children, that his children's grandfather, Brandy's father, tells him that he can't see the kids. And they leave. And he says him and Father Rene are conversating through the seat with Father Rene in the trunk. He said he's not tied up or anything like that. He did say that he cut the emergency release out of the trunk so that Father Rene couldn't get out. And he says that they're talking through the seat, and Father Rene tells him that basically in a roundabout way, you're not going to get away with this. This is going to come back to bite you. He says at that point he realizes he has to kill Father Rene. I mean, he did give us a really good statement as far as the details go, and I know you're kind of in the dark because you just got here, but we can fill in the blanks. He has agreed to take us to a couple of locations, and I think the fact that it's already noon, if we're going to do that, we should probably get rolling, and we could probably chat some more in the car.
Did you do anything else when you dropped off that cell phone over there behind the business after the chase?
What you mean, do anything else?
As far as you say, you dropped off the phone.
That's the phone right here. That's where I ended the high-speed chase at.
And we'll make this happen, okay?
Done deal.
All right, bro.
Like the Crocs.
Thank you. Yeah, they fit pretty good.
Now we'll buy you 3 burgers.
You just tried to outdo us, all right?
and I'm not going to take you to some raggedy ass Wendy's. We'll get some Five Guys.
Oh man, what about a pack of cigarettes?
He's stepping it up.
You think they're gonna try to get me some mental help too?
Yeah, you'll get evaluated by a doctor at some point in time.
Judge Blanchard said the punishment Murray faces here on earth pales in comparison to the punishment he faces in the afterlife.